Welcome, everybody, to Presentation Hell. We are broadcasting here from Embark Studios in Tampa, Florida. Today, I sit here with Matt Tack. He is the CEO and I believe founder of Nootricious.
You got to get that new in there.
How did it's new like not new? What is it? What are you doing with Nootricious? How about this? Take a minute. Tell the crowd what Nootricious is.
Absolutely. Nootricious. So, yeah, we want to get that new in there. It's N-O-O, Nootricious. We trademarked that name. And what it is, it's baby food for adults. We were actually trying to go around that in our food incubator, but that's what we're adopting. It's for active entrepreneurs that we consider themselves athletes. So we mainly target the CrossFit community. And we just give them healthy, nutritious options on the food fast. So our motto is we provide busy athletic professionals with on-the-go daily nutrition to fuel their active lifestyles. We want to make sure your human experience thrives.
By being fed baby food as an adult?
By baby food as adult. So we broke it down, though. So we wanted
Obviously, it's baby food. You put it in a fucking blender.
We wanted to break it down into more dense options. So what we did was, I'm a big cerebral guy. I like thinking in terms of the brain and how the chemicals associate with your food. So we broke it down into 3 chemical releases that naturally happen in your body with food. And we wanted to focus on cortisol, serotonin, and melatonin.
So this is a chemical thing is the way you're balancing it. The food that goes in is going to affect those 3 components of your body. And
Exactly.
But why baby food?
So, that's a solid question. And the reason why is that emphasis solid, right? We want something a little bit more fluid that gets into your system faster and then gives you that option without really overthinking it, right? So a lot of people, specifically entrepreneurs, are very, very active during their day, right? And sometimes they forget to eat naturally. And a lot of times they just want something in their gut to keep them moving. And how can I not think about that and really get food that fuels my day? Doesn't really have to be crazy, solid, dopaminic type food, meaning like I'm enjoying
I'd rather you call it food that fuels my day than baby's food for adults. You tell me I'm eating baby food. Yeah. I want a steak. I hear you, but like, I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I'm out running around. At the end of the day, I want to be freaking fed. I guess that's baby food.
Fed.
But I want real freaking food.
Real freaking food. So get this. Do you always have time for real freaking food, right? So do you want a steak?
I'm old enough to know that there's value in it, and I don't need to talk to other people during that time. But yes, a lot of people are confused with their own motivation that way.
Yeah. So, and
but are they going to take time to deal with you?
We call this micro mealing. So I don't want this.
You're going to micro meal me to death? Jesus Christ! I can't. I can talk to my wife and say, "Where are we going to dinner?" You know that's micro mealing right there. You think, I don't care. She knows where she wants to go, but I need to guess what the hell it is.
That's if you have time.
But that takes time. So, why do I trust you with feeding me? Do you bring the food to me? Do you just tell me go buy carrots and cook them up with sugar? No sugar, sorry.
No sugar. No sugar's added.
See what I mean? Tell me why you're special, why you're different than Nootricious, than any one of these other systems that are out there that, quite frankly, you can go into Crunch Gym, get yourself a trainer, and they'll give you an app to start feeding you on that day. You have to have 2 eggs this morning with a kale toast and avocado, whatever the God knows they want to feed you that day. Is it real? Is it not? I don't really know. Am I taking Crunch as my credibility factor? Like here, you're the credibility factor.
Yep.
Why are you credible?
Yeah, so I mean that's the reality is with human existence, it's all about consistency. As you know, being an entrepreneur, you got to daily improve yourself, right? And entrepreneurs do a lot of things, right? Especially if you consider yourself an athlete. So what's going to help you in that capacity? We're trying to achieve and save time.
But why are you going to help me in that capacity?
So
I'm going right to the heart of Nootricious.
You can.
Why are you, Chad, right here?
Yeah.
Going to help me get through my day and do it. Why is nutrition? Did I call you Chad? I'm sorry, Matt Tack. Let's do it together. That's my. I'm sorry about that.
You're good.
No, but why is it you, the one that I should trust to bring me through the day? Why shouldn't I let the chef at my local Italian restaurant who feeds me so nicely and actually adds a scotch next to it?
That's
like
right.
why wouldn't that do it? Like, how do you fit into my lifestyle that way? I eat out.
That's exactly
I eat out 8-10 times a week. How do you fit into my lifestyle?
Yeah, so that's going to be fitting into the lifestyle. So ideally, what you're going to be in terms of like an avatar is going to be somebody that's already focused, right? I want to level up my game, right? So I am not just choosing my Italian. I'm not saying get rid of that either, by the way. There's also going to be an element
But suppose all the good-looking people go to the Italian restaurant I like to go to.
Yeah.
And I go there because that's where I do business.
Yeah.
How does this fit into it? How do I take an app and really make my day better that way when I am a knee-jerk eating type of individual? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I hear what you're saying. I'd love to eat well. I'd love to have someone packing my bags and making the stuff for me every day, and I know what the hell I'm going to eat, and I can tell him I'm not going to get cheeseburgers at lunch today because I got some freaking, lettuce in my bag. Is that what I have to live by or no?
Yeah, so you yes. Very effective eating, right? So you got to make the decision for yourself, right? And so this is kind of the idea. I want to create a longevity mindset associated to it. So you can eat at the Italian restaurant. You can make those decisions, but how do I make those decisions easier, right?
Okay.
So at the end of the day, you can eat at the Italian restaurant all day, every day if you want to. But the reality is the chicken parm is not going to do it for you all day, every day, right?
At least once a week it does it for me. I'll tell you.
So it might fog you up. You can't eat that all day, every day. So it's
you just
optimizing.
said something that you should be talking about.
Yeah.
You said might fog you up.
Yeah.
What do you mean fog you up?
So the reality is dense food. Like if I'm going to eat something in the middle of the day, if I'm going to go to my Italian joint in the middle of the day, you think that's going to optimize you on the back end of the day? Probably
what
not.
he means by fogging you up is you're heavy in the brain and you can't come back to work and have the dexterity to properly think. And you're suggesting that a lot of these heavier foods, the carbs, the things we eat with butter and things like that.
They're good, right?
Or fog you up is what you're suggesting.
Yeah, is that allowing you to optimize, right? Is that allowing you to make the best decisions in the afternoon, right? Because the reality is we go through decision fatigue in the given day, and usually that's what holds us back a lot of times. So
or pushes us forward.
Or pushes us forward, depending on how you utilize that food. And what we're doing with these food pouches is allowing you to push the needle forward, right? We're allowing you to get just enough in a micro meal portion to allow you to optimize the second half of your day. Because the reality is when you wake up in the morning, it's as much as they say breakfast is like the most important meal of the day. It's not, because the reality is if you get too much, it's going to fog you up. And so if I'm eating bacon and avocado and eggs, right? The reality is that my body has to break that down right now, and that process is thought. So you want to make sure you're monetizing your mornings for that revenue generating systems being entrepreneurs. So how am I going to do that effectively? Sometimes it's just a little food pouch getting in me, almond butter, avocado, and coconut milk with its high dense in fats, right? It's going to sit in your gut, but it's going to allow you not to have this hearty substance that you have to break down, because I want to make sure I'm processing and optimizing at a high level, and I want to make that decision easy for you.
So we're going to come back in a moment, and I'm going to ask you to give what should a day of food look like for me, a young 56-year-old guy.
Yeah.
I'm not overweight or anything. I'm in line. I get up in the morning. I'm shot out of a cannon. I yell and scream online for like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
By the time lunch comes around and eat, by the time 2-3 o'clock, I'm face down in my desk asleep. I take a nap and I get up and I go to dinner and I eat and have a drink and I go to sleep. With that, we're going to come back in a moment and you're going to tell me how my brain is going to defog and I'm going to be like the ability to have mental dexterity to be a winner in every conversation.
You're super.
Presentation Hell is brought to you today by Shuffler.
Nootricious.
Nootricious is in. Nootricious and Shuffler together we're bringing in the show. In our earlier part of the show, Matt queued me up for what my day would look like if Nootricious put forth my meals, how I would wake up. I'd wake up at 5:30 in the morning.
5 a.m.
Okay, 5 a.m. See, I already lost a half hour of sleep.
Yep.
Go ahead, tell me what my day looks like on food. I work out in the morning.
All right, so I'm gonna actually tell you what today looks like, because every day is gonna be a little bit unique and differentiated. So I time block, I schedule. So I want to make sure that I'm going to work, but I only work out 3 days a week intentionally, right? So today I'm actually going through an autophagy fast. So I'm actually not going to eat.
What?
An autophagy fast, right?
What is that?
I can build into that, but that's basically so my ketone levels spike, so that I get a good clean gut liner, and I'm focusing mentally, physically, spiritually.
Okay.
I want to be focused.
If I understand this, your keto level is the level in your body where you stop burning fat and you start burning
against itself. You're recreating.
Itself.
You're regenerating new good cells.
So basically, and I just want to understand this a little bit before we get to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keto is the balance of your body processing fat versus muscle versus being in tone. And if you're above it, you have plenty of fat to eat and you're getting fatter and fatter.
Yeah.
If you're below it, you're losing weight and losing fat and becoming more trim.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the balance you're trying to keep me at as a human being.
Exactly. And honestly, I want to build in just a little bit there too. It's just to make it really simple, I want to get it in my most primitive state, right? So I want to be hungry a lot. And that's like the nurturing of that concept.
Hungry, wanting to get better, or hungry because
I want to get better.
Okay.
Hungry, wanting to get better. So like I want to get in my primitive state. So that's why I do that on Wednesdays of every week, is because I did a hyper-focused workout this morning, right?
Okay.
Did a CrossFit workout. I only fast on a day that I do a tensional workout in the morning. So
a fast is literally not eating all day?
Not eating all day. So I take a 24-hour fast. You're going to get to that 18-hour marker, and that's where your ketone levels are going to spike. So, but let me take
That's where my anxiety level's going to spike. I'm going to get sending you texts. God damn it! What the hell? Where's my cheeseburger? No,
that's right. But now we phase into a Thursday, right, where you are eating, and how I want to optimize. What is my morning? What does my day look like?
What does my breakfast look like?
Yeah, so what does your breakfast look like? So what I do is I always get water with lemons in me in the very first thing in the morning. That kind of levels out my pH level. So that's
even when you're fasting, you drink water, though, right?
Yeah, always drink water, right?
Just clarifying.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So on a Thursday, when we're going into the day, I'm not working out. I am eating that day. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go in, and the first thing I'm going to do is pray and stretch. That's just like kind of my like normal routine. To get up, I want to have a grateful heart. Prime myself, prime my attitude.
So you get your mental, you get your mind in order.
That's right.
And then you move to your body.
Then I move to my body. And what my body does is that naturally gives me a cortisol spike, right? So when you're stretching your body, you just level out your cortisol levels, spike it so you have an alertness, right? Then I immediately go into my habit stack. So I have a few habit stacks, but one of the main things is I read and write, right?
Habit snack.
Habit stacks.
Habits. So what is that?
That's all based on the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. So habit stacking is just something I've involved. I started out with only a few, right? It was stretching and reading.
Like if you have bad habits daily, you're probably going to yield bad results over the year. Like if my habit was to smoke a cigarette when I got up in the morning, that's worse than getting up and drinking a glass of water as a habit.
100%. You can replace those habits, right?
Don't replace it with reading the news.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a bad habit stack at this point.
Definitely don't do that. I do books, right? That's where I get a lot of, I read about 42 books last year. Over the past few years, I've read north of 40 books. So that's those stacks that I have in the morning are reset.
What's the most recent book you read?
The most recent book is The Gap and the Gain by Dan Sullivan. Phenomenal business book associated to just like your overall happiness. As entrepreneurs, I'm always going after the horizon, but the horizon's moving. How am I looking back to see how far I progressed and maintaining that level of gratitude and happiness? So it's a good reset, and that's what I do in the mornings, right?
Gratitude and happiness. Did you hear those two words?
Huge.
Most important, very important, regardless of all the other activities you do. That'll make a difference. Go ahead.
Yeah. So just thinking of the ideal, I'll be happy when that's not even a real thing.
Still haven't told me what I'm going to eat. I'm fucking hungry.
So you're hungry now.
Sorry.
So now I get into my stacks, right? I get through my stacks. Those are my choice of foods. Right now, as we launch our product and I go what your food supply is, right? Mine is a baby food pouch with an RX bar. Right, so I eat those two things right now that give me adequate but not overabundance type of food supply, because I want to make sure my 8 to 10 windows within my flow state, my revenue generating activities. So that's what you're eating, right? Now you get into that 11 o'clock marker. Man, I'm hungry again.
Right now.
I feel like I need something in my stomach again, right? That's where we incorporate another pouch. That micro mealing approach of like, man, I really could do something, but I'm still like maybe phasing out of my flow state. where I had something a little bit more dense, but I just need something light to get me moving. And I'm not planning on stopping for lunch today, but I just need something in my gut that's effective. Low glycemic scale. You don't want heavy sugars. You don't want an apple. You don't want grapes. You don't have a high on the glycemic scale. So bananas and acai, low glycemic scale, right, has good serotonin release that, hey, I still can optimize my day. And then the other element, nutritious, right, is incorporating that reishi or lion's mane. That's really decreasing my inflammation in my body, but giving me really cognitive focus to then maybe extend out your flow state. So I'm thinking and I'm driving forward even more, right? These are some of the conversations that I'm having is because, I can have a pouch in me that I'm light, that I can handle some of this dialogue right now even. So that gets you to the afternoon.
So before that, one of the things I got from that is you said something about causing the fog, the weight of the food inside of you. What did you say? What was the words?
Well, you have dense. Your body works against you, right? Just to give a case in point, I'm a big golfer, and I saw Dustin Johnson on the back nine eating a sandwich. By the time he's going to be able to utilize that for fuel, it's probably going to be the 14th or 15th hole. But if you had something as far as in a lighter substance that your body's more easily able to break down, I can utilize that for fuel on the next hole.
Do you deliver this food to the people?
So we're going into production. So we're in a beta right now. We're actually going into our launch phase in June. And so, yes, this will be a direct-to-consumer product that we're launching. And then, this will be, you can identify it on our website. You can follow me.
Since it's like baby food, can I just strap it like a pouch on my body and let it stream in the food as it comes in? I can monitor it through my phone and I never have to eat again, and I can just kind of go on like a drone?
You cannot. And also,
you can just supply food, little packets going forward.
You need your dopamine. You need your dopamine. We don't want to replace your dopamine-type food. So you want your steak, you want your Italian pasta, you want these things. I'm not saying take those out. Utilize them to your benefit for a level of optimization. So if you're planning ahead, you have a geared up morning, allow food to be to your benefit, not your detriment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really about using food, eating to live, not living to eat. You're using food to properly propel your body and balance so that you based on what you're talking about and balancing that keto level, if you're over it, it clouds your thought pattern. It makes you sluggish, your body becomes slow, your mind becomes slow, you make worse decisions, you're not an effective human being. And
completely agree.
Belief is through nutrition, nutritious.
Get it?
You can teach people to properly basically feed themselves and be on a more balanced thing.
And just to have more consistency without without that thought, right? Of hey, what am I going to eat, or what it you only really need a good dopaminic type food. I call it dopamine. I think I coined that term. Maybe I'll coin it, but that dopaminic, that steak, those eggs, that bacon. One time a day, right? One time a day is really what you need. You get to choose kind of what time of day.
So one time a day, I get to eat like a pig.
Yeah, just if you want to eat a steak. I love meat. I'm not saying go against meat. I'm not this all plant based, even though ours is more plant based.
So what you're fundamentally saying is that food balanced properly in your system, you can regulate your own chemical balances therefore be more on point, on mark, with better decisions, better thinking, better physical flexibility, and in turn, a better life.
You got it. You got it, man. If you can make better decisions, you can have a better life, right?
Theoretically. We've all made some pretty crappy decisions in our day, and we all live with them. They're fine. So we had someone on our show this morning who knew you, Rosie Paulson from Rosie Paulson. Yeah,
What's
that's
up,
right.
Rosie?
See, a shout out to Rosie. She's wonderful.
I do know. Yeah, that's absolutely. I haven't seen her in a while.
She was so happy to see your name. It's oh my gosh. I know Matt. He comes in. So it was very nice. Good to have you here.
It's awesome. Yeah.
So do you want to give one last pitch to the crowd right here? How can they come and get your product? What does it cost? And give your pitch. Tell the people.
Yeah, absolutely. You can check us out at nootup.com. We have a pre-launch site, so that's a pre-launch site. If you want to be a beta user, we are going into full commercialization in June, like I said. But our beta group will be through February through actually April, where we're going to be soliciting feedback, getting texture. We think it's a phenomenal.
Are you shipping out food during that beta time?
Yeah, so we're going to be shipping out food to any of the beta users. So the beta users, we want to get as much feedback as possible to collect that data. So that's where we're at, nootup.com.
So that's NOOTUP.com.
Yeah, and then my Instagram handle, which I do a lot on, is @officialmatattack. And so
Matattack, I like that.
So it's
better than Chad.
It's better than Chad, but @officialmatattack, and I give a lot of education and just kind of life's philosophy on that, and we're rolling out a digital course as well to help assist the entrepreneur in the educational side of things too. So we're working on a digital course that we're going to be launching in the next month.
Well, that's exciting. I'm glad to have you here. Matt, thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
Presentation hell. I hope it was a nice experience, and
it was. It's a pleasure.
We'll go forward from here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thanks.